Hi, this is Lindsay Wagner. You are listening to TV Confidential.
Ladies and gentlemen, the King family.
Ed Robertson, welcoming you back to TV Confidential, radio talk show about television. That is very happy to welcome Mr. Cam Clarke. Cam Clarke, singer, actor, and one of the busiest voice artists of the entertainment industry today. Cam has voiced more than 400 projects for movies and television, including, most notably, the voice for both Leonardo and Rocksteady on the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. Cam began his showbiz career as a young boy in 1965 as a member of the venerable King family. The King family, one of America's most iconic singing families for more than a century. Though many of you listening tonight will likely associate the King family for their annual Christmas specials, their imprint on entertainment goes a lot further than that, spanning the worlds of vaudeville, radio, record albums, musical films from the 1940s, and live venues all over the world. Band leader Alvino Rey, one of the inventors of the electric guitar, was an extended member of the King family, while King family member Tina Cole starred as Robbie Douglas's wife in the last few years of My Three Sons. Cam Clarke has just released a marvelous coffee table book that captures the history of the King family in their own words. The name of the book is Now They're All Here, and we'll tell you more about it in just a second. But first, we began our conversation by asking Cam Clarke. I understand the King family act started on Christmas Day in Utah once upon a time.
It actually did. And you can't make this stuff up, really. My Aunt Louise has an account she wrote about that Christmas morning, the worst Christmas ever, where, the kids said, they didn't have money, but everybody got one gift. And, she had marked in their Sears Roebuck catalog, she wanted that China doll with the eyes that open and close, that whole thing. And they come downstairs Christmas morning, and there are these wrapped gifts, but very oddly shaped, and that can't be a China doll in whatever that is. And so they open their gifts, and inside are instruments.
Wow.
And that's like a big groan, like, what? And Grandpa said, children, after Christmas breakfast, we're going to learn how to play. And that's literally how we play.
So, fast forward several decades to the time when Cam Clarke comes into the world, and very quickly you learn that performing in front of cameras or performing in front of microphones, live audiences, huge audiences, that's an everyday part of your family fabric. When did you realize, Cam, that what your family did was different and special than anything else?
Well, part one of that is, we little kids, all of us kids, there's like two groups. There were when we started in 63, there were the grown-up, the teenagers and the kids who were in college, and then there were 7 of us little kids. And I was 6, and we ranged down to the age of 2, and it was just like, we're going to visit Aunt Yvonne, and part of that is you're going to sing, almost like, the kids in Sunday school learning to perform on Easter Sunday or Christmas morning, whatever. It was just a thing. It's like, we're going to have dinner, and then you're going to be on stage in front of, 800 people, or whatever that first thing was. I don't think it was till it was in the rear view mirror. I mean, as a teenager, you don't have that kind of depth of thinking,
sure,
really, I think, for most kids. But as I get into my late 20s and moving on, and of course, you hit 40, you hit 50, and all of a sudden things become dearer, they become more precious and meaningful, and you realize the gift, if you enjoyed this thing that happened. But a day does not go by that we kids, ranging between the ages of, at this point, 5 and death. So we swoon and reminisce, all the time. My cousins and I, we have a text thread that is active every day.
Mm-hmm. I can only imagine. Cam Clark is on the line with us. Cam's new book, Now We're All Here, The King Family, Over 100 Years of Entertainment from America's First Family of Song, is an oral history of the iconic entertainment family that, in many respects, also serves as a family album for the King family that they happen to share with the public. Nearly every page of Now They're All Here includes breathtaking photographs, many of which are in full color, some of which have never been published before, not to mention priceless stories, all told by various members of the King family themselves, that show how the King family, both together and in their respective solo careers, have left their mark on radio, movies, television, several musical genres, even cartoons and video games. Now They're All Here, available wherever books are sold through Rare Bird Books. You can also find it at Amazon.com, where books are sold online. For more on Cam Clark, CamClarkVoices.com, CamClarkVoices.com, and Clark is spelled C-L-A-R-K-E, Clark with an E, CamClarkVoices.com. I understand the title of your book, Now They're All Here, is something that comes from your grandmother.
Boy, you certainly did your homework. I guess we can hang up now. When I told the kids, I'm thinking of this title, there was like groans and like, oh, really? And it is the only line our grandma ever had on the run of the show. And it comes from our 1967 Thanksgiving special. And we're all, filmed in Camarillo, California. Beautiful when it was still ranches and, orange groves and all of that. And we all come marching into the house, singing Over the River and Through the Woods. And we're all inside, and there's a beat. And then one of the tiny kids comes running up, gives Grandma a peck on the cheek and races into the house. She's left on the porch, and she says, now they're all here. And it is an expression. You know how in movies and TV, certain lines have crept into our daily vernacular, like, ooh, we're not in Kansas anymore, or, I'll have what she's having. Even stuff like, that's what he said. And there are a number of lines, either they were improv or they were scripted, that have remained, lo, these decades later, in our shorthand conversation.
One of the fun things I learned through your book, Cam, Now They're All Here, is the connection between the King family, the King sisters particularly, and a band leader named Alvino Rey.
Yes, a certain band leader named Alvino Rey.
Who not only was a very prominent band leader, but one of the inventors of the electric guitar.
The slide guitar, and he worked directly with Gibson to make that come about. He is in the, Guitar Hall of Fame. He was an amazing musician. And his real name was Townsend McBurney. And his dad said, son, you can't go running around with that name. That's just lame. Of course, I don't know what word he would have used. That's just poppycock. And he said, you need something exotic. Well, back in those days, down Rio way, South America was the most exotic place, and it was the rage. And so he went with a Spanish lilt, and he became Alvino, and he took on the last name of Rey, which means king in Spanish, which also happens to be, actually the name of a family. So what a coinky-dink.
What a coincidence. Cam Clark is on the line with us. Cam Clark, one of the youngest members of the King family and one of the busiest voice actors in the entertainment industry today. Cam's new book, Now They're All Here, The King Family, over 100 years of entertainment from America's first family of song, is an oral history of the famous King family that also tells the story of Cam's own life in front of and behind the camera. Now They're All Here, available wherever books are sold through Rare Bird Books, plus you can find it at Amazon.com, where books are sold online. For more on Cam, CamClarkVoices.com. Stay with us, folks. We'll be right back.
This portion of TV Confidential is brought to us by our friends at Front Porch Realty, the community of realtors in the Northern Bay area of California that is committed to finding the solution that is best for their clients. Whether you're a first-time home buyer or looking to sell or lease your property in Northern California, call Karen Strain at 415-886-7411 or visit frontporchrealtygroup.com for more information on how they can help you.
Ed Robertson, thanking you for listening to the TV Confidential podcast. If you like what you hear, please hit the subscribe button so that you won't miss our next episode.
Hi, this is Melissa Manchester, and you lucky people, are listening to TV Confidential.
A gun? Aren't you a little above that sort of thing, Dr. Cassandra? No style.
This is the kickiest weapon you ever dug, Batman. My own unpatented Alvino ray gun. And it's the last thing you're about to see.
Now, before we started formally recording, Cam and I were talking about one of our mutual connections, and once upon a time, I dated a woman who was the conservator for Ida Lupino during the last 11 years of Ida's life, as well as one of Ida's closest friends during that time. And Ida worked with Cam's father, Robert Clark, on several movies, and that's just one of the many ways in which the King family's imprint on entertainment goes far beyond music and singing. I bring this up because I will confess, until I read your book, Cam, my only connection to Alvino Ray was a throwaway line in the episode of Batman that Ida Lupino and Howard Duff appeared in.
It is so hilarious.
Yes. So it was not only cool to learn about the Ida connection, but to learn what a talented man Alvino Ray truly was.
Well, and the line is, I don't know exactly how they set it up, but Ida is pointing this gun at Batman and Robin, and she says something about, "This is my Alvino Ray gun." And when we heard about that, I probably had watched it, and, it might have even gone over my head at that age, 1966, but, that kind of thing is the most sincerest form of flattery, when you are the joke in a TV show or a magazine. That's when you know you've arrived.
Yeah, and and look, you don't satirize something unless it's part of the culture.
Exactly, or nobody would get it.
Or nobody would get it, and B, it speaks a lot. But by that point, so many of your family members were lifers, more or less, in the entertainment industry, and so they understood it to be flattery, and again, that's part of what keeps the family name alive.
And there must have been someone over at Mary Tyler Moore Production, MTM, who was crazy about the family, because we popped up on just about every one of the shows, those amazing shows that were produced there. I remember Ted, on Mary Tyler Moore, Ted Baxter, and his wife, George, that's her real name.
Georgette on the show, Georgia Engel in real life.
Yes. And they're trying to have a baby, and they can't get pregnant. And Georgette says, in that silly voice of hers, well, maybe we should try to give the King family a call. And it just thrilled me. Carol Burnett did a sketch, and Isabel Sanford is one of the sisters. and she has this great line, all these blonde ladies, and there's Isabel in a blonde wig, and she quips at one point, "I ain't the only one here with black roots." So, and Mad Magazine, it was just delightful.
Now they're all here. The King family, over 100 years of entertainment from America's first family song, available wherever books are sold. Rare Bird Books, as well as Amazon.com, where books are sold online. For more on Cam Clark, Voices.com. Cam is one of the busiest, most accomplished voice artists in the industry. Just to give you an idea of it, it took a couple of times for us to nail down the time to talk to.
So sorry.
No. Busy is good. Busy is good. Busy is better than the alternative. So that's
Yes. The alternative being death,
or not working. But no, the opportunity to talk to someone as busy and as accomplished as yourself is always an honor. What first led you into the world of voice acting, and when did you first learn that you have a bag of voices inside of you?
Well, I will start with the latter, with the second question.
Okay.
Apparently, I did it as a tiny kid. Now, I'm not a mimic per se. Mm-hmm. Yet, on our show, I opened our Halloween episode as Alfred Hitchcock, and they'd drawn that silhouette, simple line drawing from his TV show, mm-hmm. and they're playing his little theme music, and, Dance of the Marionettes or whatever that was, and I look at the camera, 7 years old, and go, "Good evening, welcome to the King Family Show." And then they got me doing Jimmy Durante, and I do a Shakespeare thing. Nature, nurture, it, obviously it was known I could, or they wouldn't have set that up, or maybe they said, "Can you do this?" And I did it and went, "Okay, write a piece for that." I don't know. But getting into the voice world was very accidental and could have just as easily never happened.
And we'll pick up that thread on the other side of the break. Cam Clark is on the line with us. Cam Clark, one of the youngest members of the King family and one of the busiest voice actors in the entertainment industry today. We'll take a quick time out. We'll talk some more with Cam when we come back here on TV Confidential.
Now you can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go. And pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-222-0511. 800-222-0511. Again, that's 800-222-0511.